Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your June the 18th spiritual principle a day in a meditation. Thank you for joining me this morning. The title of this meditation, let's see here. Can you see that? The title of this meditation is not building trust and trustworthiness. That's from yesterday. All right. Hopefully you can see that. Grace gets us through hard times. That's the title of the meditation for today. Should be beautiful. Let's read it together. What we find is not that our higher power spares us the hardships of life, but that we receive the grace to get through them clean. Now, that comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 3, Walking the Walk. When terrible things happen to us or people we love, especially those we deem to be innocent and undeserving of strife, our first reaction is often to try and make sense of it, to look for someone or something to blame. How could this happen? Such incidents, like a terminal diagnosis or losing a child, or less dire ones like getting fired from a job, can shake our faith in our higher power or the NA program. We may question, why am I bothering to stay clean and trying to live by all these spiritual principles if life is just going to end up causing me so much pain? No matter how much integrity we practice and how much love we have in our hearts, or how little, life will continue to show up. Instead of trying to reason our way through pain or out of a mess, we learn to ask our higher power, in whatever way makes sense for us, how am I going to get through this clean? If we ask this question in earnest and listen for the answer, we will be able to find grace. Grace is an active force in our lives. It's the gentle nudge that directs us toward the next right thing and gives us a reprieve from our from our addict thinking and reasoning. Grace allows us to find blessings in the hardships we endure, or at the very least, to accept what's happening to us and seek guidance. We know that others have gone through the same life events that we are experiencing and have stayed clean. That collective wisdom, the deep well of experience and resources available to us through our connection to NA, is grace. The more we notice and acknowledge the presence of grace, the more grace we'll experience. Even in times of great distress, I will make an effort to be present enough to recognize and receive grace. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. You know, I started to say, God, grant us the serenity to accept grace. Grace. It seems like to me, grace is a gift. It is spiritual in nature. It allows me to proceed in a fashion that is calm, peaceful, anxiety-free. It gives me the eyes to see and understand and to hear things that may not be obvious to anyone else. So when I'm going through difficulty, I need to be open to the gift of grace. I need to receive the gift of grace. And I need to act graceful, right? Whatever I'm going through, I need to remember that I have a God in my life today. I'm not godless, right? I have a God in my life today. I have faith in my life today. I have love in my life today. And in this sense, I have grace in my life today. Have you ever seen a ballerina dancing or a gymnast jumping from one place to another, doing flips, or an ice skater, or let's just say even a basketball player, the Nuggets, right? Right? To watch these individuals perform and do what they do best, in a sense, we see the level of grace that they have while they do it. It looks as though it's effortless for them, right? It seems that way to us because we don't have the grace for that. But they have the grace for it because that's what they've been working on. That's what they've perfected. That's what they've practiced doing. They seem very graceful. So when we think about grace, let's think about it in a way where it just allows us to flow through a situation and make it seem as though there that it's effortless. Yeah, it definitely, I think grace has a lot to do with faith too, now that I think about it, right? Faith that God has me. It's hard sometimes, as it mentions here, it's hard to, man, someone you love now is dying from stage 4 cancer or some other terminal illness, or you lose a child. There's this one brother, he shares about just being out and about with his kids and having to watch one of his kids be hit by someone who just would not stop at the yellow light. They just flew right through the light. And the siblings having to watch the breath of life leave their sibling. And I think to myself, that's painful. That is so painful. But they're still clean. They came through that. That was grace to me. That sounds like grace had to be a part of that. And so let's be mindful today. Let's think about that. In order to receive grace, we have to be looking for grace. And the more that you're looking for it and open to grace, the more of it you will receive. It's kind of just like that vehicle that you just purchased, right? You just brought a red Cadillac, and now all of a sudden you're seeing red tone Cadillacs everywhere. It's because now that you have it, you're more mindful. You're more mindful of it. And as a result of being more, excuse me for the background noise, as a result of being mindful of it, because you have it, you have a tendency to look for it now. It's not that there's fewer or more of those particular Cadillacs around, it's that you have it. And so now you're seeing it more. Same thing with grace. The more we notice and acknowledge the presence of grace, the more grace we will experience. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. Thanks so much for listening.